Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to answer some of the questions that I have seen in the previous videos. In my travel videos, a lot of people is asking me about the cost of living in Costa Rica. So what I'm going to do today is answer those questions. So let's see. So the first question, or the main question that people ask, is how much does an apartment cost in Costa Rica? How much rent costs in Costa Rica? So the real answer is that in here we don't have a base in terms of rent. What do I mean with that? It means that the price in the capital is going to be different from the places around, the other, what we call provincias, which are states. So for example, here in the capital, okay, very close to downtown, a rent of a house or an apartment always is between 1,100 to even 2,000. So the spaces are not very big in terms of apartments. In house they are, most of them, but pretty much that is the cost. Now, that doesn't mean that you cannot find a lower price. Of course you can, but pretty much those apartment houses are just one bedroom and that's it, mainly from people that comes to San Jose to work. Now, what happens in the coast areas, in the shore areas, okay, the costs could be pretty similar or even higher because a lot of people want to live there. A lot of Americans want to live there. So it's pretty much the same idea. You can get a lower cost if you really look into those places. I cannot give you a specific amount because of that. There is a bunch of different ways to stay here in Costa Rica, a bunch of different places to stay here. Now, a lot of people asking me this question in Atenas. What about Atenas? How much the cost is in there? Pretty much is the same. Okay, we don't have a regular price or a standard price for renting. No, you have to look into all the properties, what type of properties they offer and how much it costs. Now, the cost that I said, that is 1,100 or even 2,000, that does not include most of the time the services. You have to pay the services, separately most of the time. Okay, I'm not saying that is 100%. No, you can find places that within the rent you can pay your services, but again you have to look into those places. Now, the cost of services. Well, the cost of services here, they're very low, honestly. If it's just from one person, you could be around, it could be maximum like $50, $60, pretty much. It's a very low cost of living in terms of services. In my case, that I have an office and a family and and so on, I do not spend more than $120 in services, and that goes for internet, the light, water, security, cell phone bills. All of that is within that amount of $120, around that, or even less. So you can see if that comes from an office and a family, you can imagine if you're alone or in a couple, in a group, the expenses is going to be way less. Now, let's talk about means of transportation here in Costa Rica. Okay, here we have the train, bus, you can rent a car, or you can rent both depending on where you are. But for example, the cost of the bus for just one trip from one distance, it could cost like $2. Okay, so one trip, the whole round trip, let's say, it will cost you like $4 or $5 just one way. If you're in a capital, you may have to spend $10. Okay, a round trip. When I say $10, because you basically have to take two buses, two routes to get to your places. So, but that's within the capital. I mean, just going to work or going to a restaurant, or that. Now, if you are in the capital but you want to go to the beach or you want to go to another state, well, that is different. That costs you around, around $10 per trip. So when I say $10 per trip means, from going to the capital to the coast, $10, and going back, the same idea. Okay, and I'm giving you a high amount because I want to have change, at the end. I don't want to give you a lower amount so you can have to pay more later. No, like the highest is going to be for the minimal distance $10, and the price will increase depending how long you are going to travel. This is all by bus. By plane, you can have tickets for $50, $32, $70, depending on the time, depending on the airline, depending on how much is booked. So like any other place, you have to look into those prices to see how much is going to get. And to summarize, let's talk about food. So in that case, depending on your taste, this could be very expensive, this could be very cheap. I mean, if you're a person that doesn't matter what you eat, you still be happy, well, the cost is going to be very, very low, pretty much similar to United States, to be honest. Burger King is the same cost. All the main restaurants in the United States, we have it here, and the cost is pretty much the same. In some cases is double. So for example, it's $2.99, here is $5 or $6. So, but again, you can look into and you will see the prices. Let's say with fast food, it's the same thing. With typical food, the cost is around $6 and $7. So you have to take that into consideration if you want like a typical food from here. And if you want restaurant type of food, well, that can cost you $20 and more. Again, prices that you can find in United States too, so it's pretty similar. Now, it's been said that here is way more expensive than United States, and it's true. Why? Because we don't have that much variety that United States have. Okay, we don't have that much brands in here that United States have. So of course that is what changes in terms of money. And that is something that you have to take in consideration. But if you want to learn more about the brand that we have here and the cost, well, let me know in the comment sections, and of course I will happy to help you. And that's it. That's what I wanted to share today, because there are a lot of comments regarding that in my travel videos. So I wanted to share my information, even though it's just an introduction, but I wanted to share. So if you have any other question that you would like me to answer, well, again, leave all the questions in the part of the comment section. So I hope you like this video, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.